I want to share my story of hormone replacement therapy and how I believe that the medicines and the approach that they take to equaling out our hormone levels didn't work for me until I discovered that I had to turn within myself and deal with some of the emotional hangups that I still carried through childhood. So about 33, I was diagnosed with perimenopause, and that was the first attempt to do hormone replacement therapy. And I discovered like the pellets and all those things had major adverse effects for me. And I'm cutting a Tylenol in half. I can't inject or put something into my body that's going to be there for month-long intervals because they surge, and if they don't distribute evenly, then I'm out of whack. And so in my diagnosis, they put fibromyalgia. They definitely ruled out lupus, but they were basically like, your body is crashing. And I was, exercising way too much because I had, these control factors that needed to make sure I was feeling better on the outside because I really wasn't comfortable in my own skin. So I was one of those people, fitness guru, that I was, taking my supplements and drinking my water. And then all I needed to do was, the testosterone and progesterone and the estrogen equalization, and I would be awesome. And no, didn't happen. So when I found IFS therapy, it was after years and years of doing triathlons, and I was doing ballet, and I was getting inner healing work, but it was, through the sources of, let's pray your problems away. They weren't getting on a subconscious level. And my first experience with IFS therapy was closing my eyes and just feeling the frustration and allowing it to drift back to one of the first times I had felt that way, which was very young. And I can tell you, I went into it about 6 years ago with 75% more pain than I have right now. I am taking no meds. I'm whittling down my supplements all the time because it was too much money. It was a lot of blood being drawn. It didn't help the angry surges and the mood swings until I discovered that my emotions were being shoved down because I was looking for a remedy outside of myself. And so after my first session of realizing that my frustration was really sadness, because there had been a lot of attempts I had made to get well and be healed physically, that I had just given up. So I had a lot of exhaustion from the inside out. When I started meeting those parts, which are literal brain pathways, in my system, they relaxed. And that relaxation allowed me to literally slow down in the natural. I stopped the hormone replacement therapy, and here it is all these years later, and I'm 50, and I can tell you that for the past 2 years, I have had the greatest strides of success in my mental state and my physical capability. My endurance is far surpassed than what I was doing in my 30s, because now I'm walking for 7 miles a day, and I'm doing lifting in a way that is still productive even for my athletic injuries. I just want to say that IFS therapy is the missing anecdote. It is the thing that requires you to look within yourself, find out what's even driving you to perfect, to effort, to perform, because when we're exhausted and we keep pushing forward, our body is just giving us signals that it's wounded. And that's another code word for trauma. When I used to go into the schools and work with children with learning disabilities, in their charts it was ADHD, and it was nothing less than trauma. But we can't say that in certain systems, and including the medical field, they can't say, look at your emotions or figure out what's really driving you, because they have an industry to support and they have money that they need to make. So just take a moment to look at yourself, turn within, and see if maybe IFS therapy isn't the remedy you need to be physically healed and to be at your peak performance.